What's going on YouTube? Today I thought we would go over to zombierecords.com and I just want to show things off. So Zombie Records does a half decent job of keeping track of what every record are and what the leaderboards are for each subsequent high round. And if you look at them, they're all pretty standard inline. Kino, you have a world record of 235, Deriz 246, Ascension 232, Shang 194, Numa 152. It's all relatively standard and in line. But then when you go over to World at War, this is when things start to get a little bit more interesting. For example, if you look at the high round for Deriz, I mean, it seems normal, a little bit lower, but 126. I guess that makes sense. World at War Zombies is a little bit tougher than Black Ops Zombies. There is no quick revive. Then we look at Knocked, and we have 1,558. What? It's a hell of a jump right there. Verrückt 1,318. How do people get to around 1,300? Then we go over to Numa, and the world record is 9,072 by Insta-Killer. Like what? It absolutely breaks high rounds. So what's going on here? Numa breaks high round runs. It's honestly crazy to consider that the world record for this map is 9,072. And congratulations to Insta-Killer for this feat, because this isn't just the Numa world record. This is a Zombies all-time record. Nobody in Zombies has ever legitimately reached a higher round. And honestly, I think there's no way in hell the World at War developers at any point considered somebody being able to reach around 9,072. And for the record, if you wanted to sniff the top 10, you would need to beat round 3,157. Just think about, though, 9,072 for a moment. What's the highest round you've ever reached? 30, 40, 50, 100? Hell, my highest round ever was round 56 on Die Rise. So, you know, I was only 9,016 rounds off from the all-time Zombies record. I was pretty much there, just needed to survive a few more rounds. Now, anyway, what's going on here? Why is the world record for Numa so high? And why, compared to other maps, is it not even close? Even maps like Nocturne, Toten, and Verrückt have pretty high records for their highest round compared to, say, maps from Black Ops 1, but they're several thousand away from Numa. That's what we're going to be exploring today. What about Numa and World at War made it the perfect storm for reaching high rounds? The biggest reason why players are able to reach such high rounds in Numa has to do with the number of zombies on the map per round. The way players are used to zombies working is that the number of zombies per round would increase with each round. And the number of zombies per round varies depending on how many players are on the map at a time. But in solo, after round 10, it generally follows the formula of R times 0.15 times 24. This number can fluctuate and vary a bit depending on how many players are in your game, also which Call of Duty you're playing. But generally, that's how it would work, and there's actually a lot of really good resources online that can calculate the exact number of zombies per round if you're interested in that. Generally, though, it's how it works. The zombies per round at Numa are much simpler. There's simply 24 zombies per round. No more, no less, no matter if you're at round 10 or if you're at round 1000. There will just be 24. So on solo zombies, you are, in every game, only allowed to have 24 zombies on the map at a time. Now, normally in zombies, you'll have 24 zombies and no more will spawn until you kill one more zombie, and then a new zombie will spawn in to take its place, and this will continue until you've ran out of zombies per that round. On Numa, though, you simply kill that 24th zombie, and that's it. No more zombies will spawn in. Once you kill all 24, well then it's on to the next round. And this is actually how it works in Nocturne, Toten, and Verrückt. That's why those maps have world records that are in the thousands. It wasn't until after Numa on the map Deriz that they included a zombie per round system that is much more like what we're used to today, with the number of zombies increasing per round. This is reflected in Deriz's world records, which are much more tame. So I think you could imagine You're able to churn through the rounds at a much faster rate when you only need to kill 24 zombies per round. This then allows players to reach much higher rounds in a much faster period of time. They're not, say, having to deal with 200 zombies in a round, they only have to deal with 24. So if Noct and Verrückt only have 24 zombies per round like Numa though, then why don't they have such high records as Numa? Why are the records for those in the thousands, but Numa's records all the way in the 9,000s? Well, this has to do with the individual attributes of each map. So what holds Nocturne and Totem players from being able to reach high rounds like, say, round 9072 is a few factors. The first and most obvious one is the lack of Juggernog. When you're playing with no Juggernog, there's zero room for mistakes. You have to be almost perfect. So the odds of you dying sooner are much more likely. Not to mention the map really lacks a good open space to train. You can train in the mystery box room, but it's still relatively tight and has some tricky spawns. So all of that with the combination of you not having Juggernog is going to increase your chances of going down, which will decrease your chances of reaching, say, round 9,000. The map also lacks a really good killing weapon. Most high round strategies require you to use the flamethrower since it has unlimited ammo. It'll kill the zombies, but it's going to take a while, and you might eventually reach the point where the zombies' health glitches and you can actually start to kill them, but it's still not going to be a very fast run, and it's going to take you a while to reach that point. And for those couple hundred rounds until you start reaching the insta-kill bug, you're going to have to wait 10 to 15 minutes for the zombies to die off just naturally like they do in-game. Either way, it's definitely possible to reach round 9072, but the run would be very slow, and it would also have little room for error. The ceiling and potential is just as high for a Numa run. It just requires a lot more time and a lot more skill. So Noct isn't really a great map to try to set the zombies' all-time record for. Verrückt has more going for it than Noct. For example, Verrückt has the benefit of Juggernog, and you also have traps which will allow you to kill the zombies at any round. This gives you a bit more room for comfort and a reliable way to kill zombies, but I think the problem really boils down to Verrückt's lack of a wonder weapon, as well as its map design. With there being no good wonder weapon, it's easy to get trapped in a corner and go down. You know, if you have something like the Wonderwaff, it's almost a get-out-of-jail-free card. The World at War zombies are also annoyingly sticky, and this sounds weird, but if they hit you, you almost get pulled into them, and then this gives you the opportunity to get double swiped or maybe hit by other nearby zombies. This problem then becomes amplified by a map like Verrückt, which is super tight. So this map is a really easy map to go down on, especially in World at War when the zombies are super sticky. And I know sticky is a weird way to describe zombies, but you just have to feel it to understand it. Your main strategy is just to either run routes around the map and activate traps. This then becomes difficult because if you get a zombie to spawn in front of you in a tight spot, you could end up going down. You can also manipulate the spawns a little bit and use trap strategies like this one in order to survive the rounds, but sometimes you might accidentally screw up the spawns, and then again, like I said, if you get a few zombies to pin you in, it's really easy to go down. It's actually kind of interesting. I think despite this map having more going for it, like traps and Juggernog, it actually has a lower world record than, say, Noct. And I think the reason for this is, despite Noct having Jug, it's a little bit easier to train on. There aren't many good places to train in Verrückt. You just have to take advantage of routes and different spawn strategies, and there is just more opportunity to go down sometimes, I think. Either way, both maps aren't really optimal for a great high round run, despite having 24 zombies per round. Numa, though, is simply a perfect storm. For starters, the map has Juggernog, so you don't need to worry about that. Also, the map is super wide open and has many places you can safely train. Both of these are going to increase your odds of a successful run dramatically. Then you also have the Wonder Waff. This is going to serve as your get out of jail free card, but is also an efficient way to kill the zombies. You can beat any round of Numa with just 3 shots of the Wonder Waff. You also have multiple traps around the map that you can use to easily kill the zombies. The most notable would be the Flogger, which is next to 2 very optimal training spots, which is the area outside the Flogger and then the little hut itself. The best part about this map is that you also have the dogs. The dogs will serve as a super fast and easy round. And because you're going to get a dog round 1 in every 5 rounds, say you go and reach the world record of 9,072, 20% of those rounds will be easy, guaranteed max ammos because they're dog rounds. And sure, you can go down during a dog round. The World at War dogs, for whatever reason, are a little bit tougher, but they shouldn't be too much of a problem if you're smart. In theory, you could actually use 3 Wonder Waff shots per round and never run out of ammo while still killing all of the zombies in Numa in your round 9,072 run. This map just has so much going for it in terms of high rounds between it being open, having Juggernog, having the Wonder Waff, having dog rounds, being open, having traps, and most importantly, 24 zombies per round that you can easily reach such a round like 9,072. And the rounds move pretty quickly. They generally go at about 1 round per minute when you're doing this strategy. You might even reach a high enough round that the health starts to glitch out and you get the insta-kill bug, and you can actually then start killing zombies with normal weapons at insane rounds like round 9,072, which is then going to make your run a million times easier. It's the perfect storm for a map. And like I said, these runs really aren't that long either. The world record for Numa is 9,072 by Instakiller, and it took him 88 hours and 42 minutes. That might sound like a lot, but that means each round was completed in under a minute, which is insane. Numa is the perfect map for going to high rounds, and once you really look at it and see why it is the way it is, that you understand why people are able to get to such high rounds on this map and this map only. I mean, some people will play maps for 88 hours and maybe only get into the hundreds. You play Numa for 88 hours on World at War, and suddenly your round count is over 9,000. Numa absolutely breaks high rounds. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. I'm always covering zombies, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. Have a wonderful day, and bye.